What is going on, everybody? This is S Trade. In today's video, we're going to go over how to start completely fresh new with day trading, even if you're a complete beginner, intermediate, or even an advanced trader in 2026, in simply just 4 steps. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So learning how to trade is actually not that hard at all. People make it seem like that, aren't really experienced with trading as if it's like some astronomical freaking crazy rocket science thing. That no, it's actually relatively easy to learn. You could literally learn it, the whole concepts and how to trade and everything in a matter of a few months maximum, like literally in a month or two you could learn it, right? However, now it takes a lot of time to actually be able to trade profitably, right? Control your emotions and get your psychology right and things like that, right? But these 4 simple steps will make sure that you will be on the right path to actually learn how to properly day trade, and will help you succeed in it to be able to actually become profitable at some point, right? So let's start with step number 1. So first up, right, just like anything in life, if you want to learn something, you actually have to just start from the basics, right? Learn the concepts, learn how everything works, right? Same exact thing with trading, right? So if you want to learn, if you're a complete beginner, or even if you're an intermediate / advanced trader, this will also help you out, right? So the first thing first is to actually sit down and get all the knowledge that you need to know in learning how to trade, right? All the basics from candlesticks to bullish and bearish market trends, how it works, what you're looking at when you're looking at the market, right? When it goes up, when it goes, all these different things, right? So you need to know all the basics first, right? So now instead of actually going on YouTube and just learning from all these different people that teach in completely different ways and trade completely different ways, right? Be very unorganized and have no idea, no structure on where you're going. You're just kind of learning from one person to another, and they're all teaching you different ways, and that's why it's going to be taking you so much longer than expected to just learn the simple basics and understandings of trading in the market, right? So this is what this is for, right? Pretty much I made a boot camp, right? A whole trading mentorship that's priced for less than a funded account, which will teach you from the absolute scratch in the beginnings of everything that you need to know to be completely advanced to learning my full entire strategy, right? To literally after this boot camp, when you look at the market, you'll be able to say, okay, are we going up? Are we going down? When are we going up? When are we going down? And to be able to actually execute properly and to be able to actually, start to win some trades and actually understand what the hell is going on in the markets, right? So that is the first thing, right? You need to lay down the foundations and actually learn the basics, right? And by far, this is not just complete basics, right? The first few videos are just for like the beginners, and everything afterwards, things are start to go really fast, right? We start to go from the basics to the complete, intermediate / advanced concepts that I'm currently using right now in my trading strategy, right? So this will literally help anyone, right? And just like anything in life, right? If you want to become a lawyer, doctor, or whoever, engineer, right? These sort of things, right? You need to go to college, right? Obviously, right? And then if you're of course looking at entrepreneurship, business, like you can also learn it yourself. But most of the time you will need some sort of a mentor or a mentorship, right? So for example, if you're learning it from someone exactly, or you're learning from some sort of an entity such as college, right? For some certain degrees that you need to be able to learn, for example, like I just mentioned, doctor, engineer, and things like that, right? So this is the same thing, right? But the only difference is you are learning this for a price less than a goddamn fund account, and you'll get so much knowledge out of this. I promise you guys, invest in yourself and you guys will not regret it. So this is pretty much step number 1. I actually watched all the videos, right? You have 24 very detailed, very new and improved videos about literally everything that you need to know about trading and how to actually understand what the hell is going on, right? So now once you get this out of the way, right, now it's going to be step 2. Now for step 2, right, once you actually learn all the step 1, all the videos and things like that, right, at the end you'll be able to actually have a strategy, right? So once you actually learn all the foundations and stuff like that, right, you'll be left with a strategy that I'll be giving you at the very end of the boot camp. And with that strategy, you'll be able to actually go ahead and place trades and go ahead and actually look at the market about what's going on. And that's the same exact trade that I'm currently trading at that got me multiple payouts, right? And that could get the same for you. However, even though I'm giving you guys a profitable and a working strategy, it doesn't mean you just have to go and blindly follow it, right? No, absolutely not, right? You have to go ahead and test it for yourself, right? To be able to actually build that conviction and to be able to just be confident in the trading strategy that you're building. Maybe you're going to be find something else that I haven't found out, right? This is what's called back testing, and that's going to be your step number 2. So once you actually got a strategy, which is going to be the end of my bootcamp, right? you're gonna have to now go ahead and backtest the strategy, right? What do I mean when I say backtest? You're pretty much gonna go back in time through a certain platform, right? And you're gonna be able actually to place trades using that strategy and just to see your analytics, right? You're gonna see when you're winning, when you're losing, why are you winning, why are you losing, to be able to actually build that conviction and build that actual trust in the model, because that's the number one and most important thing. Because anyone can just hand you one of the most biggest profitable strategies, but if you don't know and if you do not have the conviction in that strategy, you'll never be able to just go ahead and be like, all right, well, this is A plus setup, I'm going to execute without any sort of hesitation. Or you're not going to be able to you're not going to have that conviction if you didn't actually go and test that strategy yourself, which is what we're going to be doing here, right? So now there are two platforms, right? There's FX Repo and there's TradeZilla, right? I personally would recommend to go with TradeZilla because it's also not only that it's a backtesting platform, but it also could be your analytics platform. It could also be your journaling platform, all in one go for price like a little bit more than $10 above than what FX Replay offers, right? However, if you were broke like me and you didn't want to kind of charge, and if you didn't want to buy any of these subscriptions, what I did personally, right, I created like so many emails and I just kept doing free trials with FX Replay. And I believe FX Replay offers like a 7-day trial. So I literally created like 10-20 emails and I just had a very long time in FX Replay, just free trials. Right now, that's again, if you're really broke like me, but you should be able to afford both of these subscriptions. Both of them really worth it, right? Just pick one, FX Repo or TradeZilla. Again, I recommend TradeZilla, and go ahead and backtest the strategy, right? What the minimum I would suggest you guys do is just backtest a year worth of data. Now this might sound like a lot, like what the hell, I have to test the whole entire year. Guys, trust me, you could backtest a whole year worth of data in no time. Like, you could literally finish it in a few weeks if you just sit down, like at the very minimum hour or two a day, just backtesting every single day. You'll be literally done super quick, because you don't, obviously you're skipping through the days, right? You're skipping through the time, right? You hop on 9:30 from 11, right? And you just kind of see, okay, I'm gonna skip some time and I'm gonna see, are we having our strategy? Is there anything that's clear? Is it choppy or whatever? If not, I'm gonna just skip to the next day, right? So obviously the process is going to be a lot faster than if you were to actually go and live trade, right? So this is what I'm saying. You could be able to just back test a year or even 2 years worth of data in just no time, right? This is an absolute must. This is what every single trader should do. Even if you're a freaking advanced trader, people still backtest every single day, just to keep on building that conviction, just to keep on actually finding those little mistakes, tweaking some little things around, right? This is an absolute must, right? So now after you actually backtest it for a while, let's say you have a year or even 2 years behind your belt and you have an actual analytics, right? When I say I have 70% win rate strategy, right? How do I come up with this win rate strategy, right? This is from what, right? I go ahead and I backtest it and I find out what is my win rate for the strategy if I'm only taking A+ setup score into my strategy, and I derive, okay, are we working from 9:30 to 11? Are we, is my strategy working during some sort of conditions, right? That all is going to be derived from backtesting, right? So again, go ahead and backtest. Once you actually got the backtesting out of the way, now it's going to be moving forward to step number 3. So once you actually backtest and have actual statistics behind your data and behind your strategy, right? Now it's time to go ahead and paper trade / forward trade, right? So now what do I mean when I say paper and forward trade, right? You're going to go ahead and go on TradingView and you're going to log into just your regular paper trading account, right? It's free from TradingView, right? And now what you're going to do is you're pretty much going to go in every single day at 9:30 a.m. New York Open, right? You're going to go ahead and pretend like you're trading with real money, but you're going to be obviously trading with paper, with fake money, and you're going to do this for at least a month, right? You're going to do this for a month. The reason being is to actually prove that you know what the hell you're doing, right? To prove that you could be profitable with the system that I just taught you guys, right? And that you're backtested, right? Now you're gonna have to go ahead and imply it in the real live markets, right? Now you're gonna be like, well, isn't this the same thing as backtesting? Absolutely not, right? When you're seeing candles print right in front of you, every single minute candle printing and, leaving off these major wicks, major bodies, right? You're gonna have some sort of emotions going on. You're gonna get the real feel of how the actual trading market looks like during live sessions, right? So you have to absolutely go ahead and paper trade for at least a month, right? You go paper trade, you go, forward test, see how you do, right? Every single day, pretend like you're waking up to trade 9:30 to 11, and you go ahead and just trade. Pretend like it's your real money, pretend it's an actual account, and take everything seriously, right? Have your risks, parameters set up, have your rules set up, right? Have everything as if you're actually trading with real money, and go ahead and forward test, right? Do this for a month. Prove to yourself that you can actually be profitable, right? Because if you can't do it on paper, why would you ever even go on actual real money funded accounts or live accounts, right? You obviously won't do that. So that's why this step is here for, right? To actually prove that you know what the hell you're doing, and you can be able to actually make some money with fake paper money, right? So once you actually got this out of the way, now it's gonna be the last and final step, which is step number 4. So once you actually paper and back tested for a month, and you've proven to yourself that you could be actually profitable in the markets, in the live markets, right? So then will be your next step, and actually start with real money. And I would suggest you guys start with prop firms, because again, prop firms are very limited risk, right? You're only going to be risking for what you pay for the account, right? So if you're paying $100 per account, that is your risk, and the reward is literally unlimited, because you get funded, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 payouts, you know, God knows how many payouts you can get in that one account. So the profits are literally unlimited, and your risks are very limited. I would not suggest you guys to start off with a live account, because the live account, you deposit $1,000, you're essentially could be able to lose that whole entire $1,000 in your live account. That's personally the mistake that I made. I started with a live account, and I blown through thousands and thousands of dollars right off the bat, just thinking I could flip $1,000 into like $100,000, right? So don't think you're gonna do that. Just stick to the regular basic starts, which is funded accounts. And to be honest, funded accounts, you can make serious money with it if you actually know how to trade right. And just to quickly go over what I would suggest you guys, go ahead and go with Tradify, right? I made a whole separate video in the previous video just talking about why Tradify is the best prop firm in the game right now, and just talking about their different game plans. So if you want to go ahead and check that out, link is going to be in the description. If you guys want to go more over in detail what type of plan you should get, what are the benefits of one over the other, just go ahead and check that video. I'll talk very in detail for all those plans, right? But just to quickly go over this, right, I would just suggest you guys go with Tradify. Either Select or Growth, 50k accounts, right? They both cost around like $100, right? So if you go ahead with both of those plans, you're never gonna go wrong. Like if you just simply go with a 5 winning day account, go with Growth. If you're trying to get payouts every single day, go with a Select account, right? And that should be it, right? So this is going to be your one last final step, which is a step 4 to actually start trading live with prop firms, right? And this will be your longest step, right? This is where everything starts to determine if you're going to be profitable or not, because this will take you guys years and years, right? Now again, it doesn't have to take you so long, because people like me who thought they could just make it all themselves went up online on YouTube and just learned different strategies, different concepts from different traders who trade completely opposite, right? I learned one day ICT, the other day I learned volume profile, the other day I learned order flow, the other day I learned SMCs, and I was just all over the place. I did not have any sort of structure. I was not organized. I didn't know what I was doing, because one day I'm looking at the order flow, you know, the footprint charts. The second day I'm looking at fair value gaps, and the third day I'm looking at supply and demand zone / support and resistance. Like, you know, there's no organization, there's no sort of structure behind it, because everything's going to be just all over the place and everything's mixed up, right? And I'm not going to be able to actually successfully be able to get on the right path to trade, right? This is exactly why I provided you guys with this 4-step journey, because this will make sure you guys stay on the right track. You don't waste any time, right? If I promise you guys, if you follow these 4 steps from the beginning till the end, I promise you guys, you could start actually seeing some sort of results in less than a year. Yes, I know it sounds very good to be true, but I promise you guys, the reason why I'm making this video is to help you guys cut that extra time that I wasted personally. I started trading for like 3+ years, and only then I started making money, right? That is kind of the only shortcut in trading. If you actually get a mentorship early on, if you find somebody that already made it, you know, learn from them, and you actually get that shortcut, right? Because if you're just going to go fully on your own, which is totally possible, I'm not saying you can't do it, but it's just going to take so much more time, so much more losing money, so much more hard work, unnecessary hard work, right? That's why I'm providing you guys this with this template, right? Just follow this template, and I promise you guys, I will save you a lot of time, and you will save yourself a lot of money and headaches, right? So that's about it for this video, guys. If you have any other questions, comment down below. Don't forget, link is going to be in the description for the mentorship. Invest in yourself. You're actually going to be able to get a lot of info out of this, as I put in step 1, to pretty much get all the education that is a lot more organized and a lot more structured than just going through YouTube videos, right? And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.